Hi everybody. It's a beautiful day. We are filling high tunnel beds for free. Yep, you heard me. We're doing it for free.
There were pens up here.
Granted, last year we did bring in a small load of screened topsoil. I wasn't happy with it, so one of the beds is full of that, but the rest of the beds we're going to fill for free. So in the time lapse, what you have just seen is, oh Harley, don't let me forget. Harley, don't let me forget we got to bring this down to the barn. Grab this can here that blew away too. Anyways, in the time lapse, what you saw was me using a one-year-old, might be a year and a half, actually, year-old wood shavings, and putting those in the bottom. And then we came in the top with some of the beds with some aged composted manure. Right now, I'm going to take this smaller wheelbarrow because it fits in my high tunnel row because it's got one wheel instead of two. We're going to, whoop!
I got you.
We're going to take this up into the woods. There we go. Are you straightened up? Straighten up, would you? Okay. We're going to take it up into the woods. And we are going to find some beautiful, rich topsoil, hopefully, that we can bring down here and put in the high tunnel beds. So we're going to bring you up into the woods and we'll talk about it up there. All right, guys, we're up in the woods now. This is one of our apple trees. I know it looks like it's fallen over, but it's really not. We get a lot of good apples off of this tree. We're up here is because I'm looking for free topsoil. I'm going to turn you around and I'm going to show you what we have here. But first we're going to find some better lighting while Harley's shoveling. We're going to discuss why. Okay, let me put you guys down for a second. We're going to discuss why. Why am I up here in the woods digging for topsoil? This is a multifaceted question which has many different answers. The first one being, I'm cheap. I don't have a ton of money to be filling up raised beds right now. And if any of you have ever tried to fill up raised beds, you would know it can be quite expensive, especially if you're trying to get a rich, fertile soil. Up here in the woods, aside from this part here that's clay, what you have is an ecosystem that's already thriving. What you have is twigs that have fallen, leaves that fall every single year, and animals that walk through it to mix it up. There's a lot of plant growth and then plant death. And what that does is with the rain and the seasons, it breaks down and it creates microorganisms in the soil that you just can't go buy at the store. So knowing that this soil that I'm getting right here off of my farm is soil that is already thriving in my zone, in my climate, in my region, that is going to be huge, especially putting it in a high tunnel where it's going to be kind of out of its zone. We're going to be able to easily make a transition, whereas if you bring in soil, you don't know where it's coming from. So this is already comfortable growing plants here where I am right now. So that's one other good reason that I want to use this soil. Another reason I'm using this soil and making this video is because I want to show that you can use items that you have available, readily available, right in your backyard. You don't need to go spend money. What if you wanted to grow a garden, but there wasn't a store for you to go and buy soil from? Well, then you can just pick up your shovel and go put some sweat equity into it and get some soil for your garden. You don't have to feel like you don't have an option. You don't have to feel like you don't have a choice. You always have an option. You always have a choice as long as you have two hands, two legs, and a back, which I know some of us are probably not, that lucky. I am aware. But the majority of us are fortunate enough. We just have to find the gumption. And we can create our own garden beds for free. So we're going to get the rest of this soil dug up. And let me show you what I'm digging up. Now, it has just rained all day yesterday, so this is going to look muddy and clumpy to you. But when it dries in this high tunnel, it is going to be beautiful. Here is some of the soil that we're digging up. Now, there's going to be twigs in it. See? It's not going to be perfect. There's going to be little leaves in there, but guess what? I don't mind because this is all going to break down in the soil. Now, like I said, it rained yesterday, so this is all mud, but I mean, look how beautiful and rich that is. And when this all breaks down, it's going to be some of the best soil you'll be able to get your hands on. Okay, so now the tedious part in all of this is going to be the actual harvesting of this topsoil. And the reason why this is tedious is because where we live, the topsoil is really only on the top. Well, I mean, I guess that's probably anywhere because it is called topsoil. But right below the surface, here, which Adam's got to dig there. Right below the surface, we have red clay. And red clay isn't ideal for growing anything. Not plants, not hopes, not dreams. Maybe pottery. I know you want the gray clay for that, which we have plenty of. So you just have to make sure that you're getting just the soil. Now, we may eventually have some weeds and grass that's going to grow up in the high tunnel. And then we'll just come up and we'll just weed it at that point. I'd rather have soil that is nutritious enough to grow anything than soil that's so depleted it can't grow a thing. So, being as how nobody wants to hear me huff and puff, I'm going to put you back on a time lapse to enjoy us filling up a wheelbarrow with free soil. All right, so Harley said, this is basically turning into one big experiment, which is true. And in my quest, if you will, of knowledge, I mean, you can listen to what experts say and you can implement that to the best of your ability. But in my aspect, in my case here, sometimes I'm like the curious cat and I want to see what happens. So, being as how this corner of this hillside has always plagued me when I'm running the lawnmower, I started to dig into it, and the topsoil is actually the nicest I've found yet. So I said, Harley, we're right next to the high tunnel. Let's fill it up with this. So yeah, we don't need this corner at all. This can all be my garden beds. This is just our riding arena and stuff, and those are oval usually. So
you could do?
What? Yeah, I could. Creeping thyme. Be real pretty. So we are going to dig this out. I already brought some in. It's sandy, so it'll have good drainage. It's rich. It has earthworms in it, like an inch into the soil, which is another nice reason for using soil off your own property. Another thing is, I know that none of this has been sprayed with anything ever. And I can go back to ever because, well, my Pap farmed this before I lived here. It was a hay field. And even before that, when he did oats in this field, gosh, that's going far back. If my memory serves me, I'm pretty sure he never sprayed with anything. He was pretty much a natural farmer, if my memory serves me. Of course, when he did grain crops, I was just knee-high to a grasshopper, so I could be incorrect. But that also being the case, then we're looking at this being well over 35 years if it had ever been sprayed. So I think we're pretty safe to say we're past the statute of limitations. Do you guys love watching me dig? I sure do enough of it. Whoops. One nice thing though is I have the microphone now. So even when I'm digging, y'all can hear me. All right. I've called in the big guns. Cody is getting the mini excavator. He's going to come up here and finish just digging away the good soil, so it'll be easier for me to shovel. But let me turn you around and show you the middle bed. Here is our middle bed. Oops, hold on. There we go. Sorry, my phone went on low battery. Here is the middle bed. Now this bed was completely filled for free. This is the bed that we bought the soil. It was screen topsoil, and we top dressed it with a little bit of compost and manure. You see a difference? Now, this one over here has just the wood chips, and that's the one that we need to fill. So it'll be looking like this one here pretty soon. I do apologize for always looking like a mess. You know, there is no fashion when you're out here working, that's for sure. You all right?
Yeah.
We're drinking our lemon water, and in an effort to be more health conscious, I guess, if you will, I've been drinking quarts of ice water with a little bit of lemon in it, lemon juice, and it is very refreshing, especially when we're out here working this hard. So the goal is to get kale, cabbage, carrots, beets, Brussels sprouts, and maybe a broccoli and cauliflower plant in here this weekend. So wish us luck. I still just have to put up the little triangle panels here and the doors, which the doors I'm going to do either later this evening or tomorrow morning. That way it keeps the chickens out. But this project's nearing completion. Oh, and the other fun thing that I'm going to do is we have a gutter that we aren't using, and I'm going to put along this one board out here. So when the rain comes down off the high tunnel, the rain will go into the gutter, and then I'm going to connect it to two 50-gallon rain barrels, or just they're barrels. And then on the bottom of those barrels, I'm going to put a hose bib, and that way we can collect the rainwater and pump it back here into this high tunnel without using too much water from the house or the barn or anything else of that sort. Really just looking for redundancy, things that, back up your backups, basically, because I think that is really, really important. Also things like this with the water. If for some reason there was a power outage and you couldn't get electricity, up here where we are, we don't have any streams, no running water. This way we are able to continue to water our plants without needing electricity, which is really, really important. So those are all things to consider when you are planning your gardens and your greenhouses. I hear the excavator, so I'm going to get going. Okay, guys, sweat equity is worth it. The time, the effort. Our beds are full and ready for planting. So this soil is pretty nice, I have to admit, and it's just going to get better as we work it, as we put in plants, because we'll fertilize it with, fish fertilizer, bone meal, blood meal, those types of things. And this is just going to become luscious as it goes. So I'm really excited about that. Am I going to have weeds? Absolutely, that's undeniable, but we will just weed. I mean, the handoff is go buy screen topsoil that you don't know where it came from. You don't know if it has any contaminants from runoff. And it really doesn't have a whole lot of nutrition in it. Or go dig it up. Hey, it's bicep and abs day, I suppose, here on the farm, right? And put it down. And yeah, sure, you're going to have some weeds, but you're saving yourself a boatload of money. You know where your soil came from. And you're set. You're good to go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a whole lot of work. It feels really good to have it done. And I just have to do the door back here, which we'll do tomorrow. And we'll get some plants in the ground, hopefully this weekend, if not early in the week at the latest.
I know what the reward is.
What's the reward? She wants to go for a horseback ride later. So we'll see if that happens. All right, now you can't step in the bed, so you're going to have to get down. We don't want to compress all this beautiful soil. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.